game. Blouses.
Galanchuk.
Disaster.
Spaghetti.
Disaster.
Well, I mean, I'm no doctor.
We now join America's most popular show, already in progress. Everybody loves
Mitch and Sean. You guys are the greatest duo.
Fantastic.
That team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Post Game Pints podcast with myself, Mitch Gallo, and Sean Campbell, brought to you by LaBrosse Brewery and Cunningham's Pub. And Campbell, we bring you this podcast on a week where things are very busy in the world of sports.
Yeah, I call this one coast to coast. You're on one side of this continent. I'm on the other side of this continent. Just a little different, but there's a lot going down in the world of sports, and I'm really looking forward to getting to this episode of Post Game Pints.
Yeah, we have the Montreal Canadiens back in action after a week off, the Winter Olympics in full flight, and also the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. So rapid fire, editor headlines, and pop quiz coming up. We start with the rapid fire and the fact that the Montreal Canadiens are back in action. Sean, Kent Hughes, the new general manager, has been making the round. So we asked to start. Actually, no. Let's scrap that. It says here on the bottom that we're not going to start with the Canadiens. We're going to start with the All-Star game of last weekend.
Yes.
Discuss how young NHL stars can be better marketed by the NHL.
Yeah, I think, you got to use that social media first. And the NHL did their best by trying to amplify Vegas and make Vegas, the show. And I don't know if I was a big fan of the fountain and the playing blackjack. Like, I'm watching that blackjack, and I know that's just like them trying to get the games, but they all got 21. I was like, well, you made it a little too easy. These guys are so good. And then you had players like some of these young players who didn't even get a second shot just because a couple guys got 2 kings. And I was like, this game sucks. So maybe their marketing for games sucks. Use the personalities that are out there. And we see it sometimes. Sometimes if you're a big personality, you can be sold, even though your skill set isn't as high as your how good you are on camera. But you got to get the guys that are good on camera. Not everybody is. And the players, even if you're amazing and you suck on camera, get them off camera. Like, amplify the social media, let them get a little loose on that. And I don't know, I feel like everybody's so careful and reserved. You have to take advantage when someone's, 18, 19, 20, 21, and just let them go loose. I think it's like it brings a little bit more entertainment. So I don't know, amplify the social media and the personalities that are that young age of the star players, and then get them going. That's the way I look at it. It's the way to do it right now. And I feel the NHL is a little bit a step behind some of the other leagues.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said. I think that we are at a time where people love to complain. I'm a little tired of people complaining about the NHL's marketing ability and the way they showcase their young players. I think we are going in the right direction. Just take a look at what Trevor Zegras did in that skills competition. Not just the move, but also showing the personality of the dodgeball reference with what he was wearing and putting on the blindfold while doing it. I thought that was fantastic. I like to try to look at the positives. I just see so much snark out there, and it kind of bothers me. And the NHL is constantly like a punching bag for people, and I really don't understand why. The league is great, the game is great, and certainly there's things that need to change and will change over time. But I like what I see from the younger players. And I had somebody ask me, all right, well, if the NHL has so much personality, which players showcase it? I'm like, and the person told me, tell me 5. I said, okay, easily. I'll tell you 5. Trevor Zegras, Austin Matthews, Brad Marchand, Alex Ovechkin. There's lots of guys that have personality in this league. Now, I do think from a bigger perspective of things, we have to encourage it when people do display talent or display their personalities, because sometimes we want to shove it back in the box. And that's probably the mindset that you're kind of talking about, restricting people, making them feel like if they say or do something outlandish that they're no longer part of the team, or they're cocky, or they feel like they're trying to separate from the group. And we always want to put everybody as part of the group. No one's bigger than the team. And I get that from a team
Mitch, just on that point, the perfect example, Montreal saw it, PK Subban.
Yeah, for sure. Montreal saw it here with PK Subban, and a lot of people would lead you to believe that it's one of the reasons why he was traded out of Montreal for Shea Weber. Now, I don't believe that to be the case, and sometimes there's more than meets the eye, and I don't think people should just turn their back on. And I'm not saying PK did this, but not want to be part of the team concept. I think that's important too when you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. But also you're able to be an individual amongst the team. And I think that's something that's kind of really not encouraged right now in the league. But I think with some of the young guys, especially the ones I mentioned, like the Austin Matthews and Trevor Zegrases of the world, the younger generation, the generation that grew up with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the other social media apps, I think they are going to be much more in tune to how to promote the league and themselves. I think people just have to be a little bit patient here.
Yeah, just on that note, before we get to our second topic here on the Rapid Fire on the Post Game Pints podcast, is when I say that, I think about a guy like Austin Matthews, and I said PK Subban from Montreal, but as much as he has a personality, the way he dressed, the way he acts, the way he does things, he gets flack for that in Toronto. I should stick to just playing hockey. The NHL has these personalities, use them.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, instead of talking poorly about a player who does something like that, it needs to be encouraged. That's how we move forward. But again, Campbell, I love the NHL, so I get annoyed when I see all the snark thrown its way.
All right, the second topic here on the Rapid Fire is what you wanted to start with, because it was with the Canadiens. All right, the Canadiens are bad. What is the quickest path for them to be successful? What is the quickest way for this to happen? I know everybody mentions rebuild. Rebuild's not a quick path. That's taking time and starting from scratch. But do you think the Canadiens can do this quicker, or which would be the quickest way to do it?
Yeah, see, I don't really think putting all your eggs in the draft in the top 5 years in a row basket is the quickest path to success. And you see it takes a long time for a lot of these teams trying to do that. Case in point, the Edmonton Oilers or the New Jersey Devils, or even the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Buffalo Sabres. Anyways, there's lots of examples of teams that have not been able to win while trying to deploy this strategy of drafting in the top 5 every year. Now, if you're bad, be bad. Like, that part I understand. I think being in no man's land in the middle of the pack, not having a chance to make the playoffs, but not being at the bottom of the standings, I don't think that's where you want to be right now if you're the Canadiens. But I think you can survive and then build if you are bad for 2 years, but accumulate players that maybe didn't work out with their original teams for whatever reason, but you could kind of do some good scouting and pick them off before they reach their prime. Like, I think there's a lot of defensemen like that. I always believe that you have to have 250 games of NHL experience before you could really judge an NHL defenseman. And there was a bunch of these first-round picks that don't necessarily grab on quick with a team. I think of Kravtsov. His name has been out there with the New York Rangers playing in the KHL right now. He's a prime example. Like, those are guys that I'd be trying to target. Guys drafted high, big-time pedigree, who didn't work with their first team. And if you're picking up these guys under 22, you can hope that they find a home with your team and they can help build at the same time as the players that you are drafting in the top 5. Then I think you have some nice pieces with, I'd keep Toffoli around. I'd keep Anderson around. I don't think you have to trade absolutely everybody. So those are good players as well. And then, who knows about Carey Price in 2 to 3 years from now? Goaltending might be an area you address in free agency, kind of like the Calgary Flames did with Jacob Markstrom, or there's plenty of other examples. But, long story short, Sean, I think the quickest path to success is finding guys under the age of 23 who haven't hit their prime but haven't worked out with their first team.
You mentioned these guys. I think of a guy like Sam Reinhart, right? And the way that he's been able to, in the right environment.
Yeah, that's a great example. How about Sam Bennett?
Yeah, whichever way you want to look, I think it's the perfect example for players like that. And I understand what you're saying, but with the question being quickest path for success for the Habs. So this year, you're bad, be bad, and you can go with the lottery percentages. The best way is this is going to be the first draft for the Habs, be it a first, second, third, or fourth, right? That's pretty much where maybe fifth, depends on where they finish, right? So they are going to have a top 5 pick this year in the draft. Mm-hmm. Don't screw it up. So the quickest path is don't screw up that. Okay, don't screw up that. The second one is you have to take these next 2 months and take your time now. But if you want it quick, evaluate everybody on the roster. The ones you want to keep, like you mentioned, Foley, Anderson, I'm with you. But there might be a couple other guys that everybody's like, get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. But you look and you say, no, this is an isolated year. We're going to keep him because you've evaluated, you've done your own evaluation. So I think you have to make sure your evaluation of your own team right now, if you want the quickest path, is to make sure you don't miss on your own evaluation of your team, because it's hard to judge the Canadians right now with the way that they're playing. And something else, you want the quickest path
Sean,
to
hold
success?
on. Can I just stop you on that point?
Yeah.
Is there somebody you have in mind when you say that?
There's a couple because of contracts, and I understand where Petrie is right now because I have been holding off and I've kind of passed that one. Gallagher's one. Gallagher's a guy that I just never want to give up on because I don't think he'll ever give up on you. And I think Gallagher's a perfect guy that everyone's like, oh, you got to move on. But Gallagher might surprise you with 3 more seasons of 30 goals because that's the kind of player he is. So, I mean, that's the evaluation you have to have. You have to go risk reward for money, injury, all that. I get that. Okay. The last thing, if you want the quickest path, right? If you want the quickest, Carey Price has to play and he has to be good. Like, to me, if you want the quickest path, is the return of Carey Price. Finish this year, do whatever you want, but he has to be Carey Price next year, and then that'll boost you from where you are to whatever you're doing. And then the evaluations, free agency, blah blah. You could go and change your roster and trades. Don't miss a trade. Get good free agents. I get it, but that's the quickest path, and the Canadians can do that. But I don't know if Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon, that's what they want to do. But to me, self-evaluation of your team. Don't miss your top 5 pick, and Carey Price returning if you want the quickest path to success for Habs.
Yeah, and the last one, I don't really know if it's a path, Sean, because there's a lot of unknown on that path. Like, I'm imagining in my head a path, and in front of me is darkness. So I don't know if it's going to lead. I don't know if it's going to lead to light with the Carey Price.
You keep thinking it's going down. At some point, it's going to turn up. This path for the Canadians, and then they play the Devils, and it just goes down. I said, when's it gonna end?
I just hope it's not walking directly off a cliff that we can't see in front of us. All right, final one on the rapid fire here on the Post Game Points podcast. Sean, Winter Olympics in full flight. I don't know how much you've been able to catch so far, but I want to talk about which Olympic sports we find most entertaining, and of course we have to exclude hockey.
Yeah. And almost on that point, like I love short tracks, speed skating, just because it's got the checking the shoulders, but then you get into these guys get bumped, and then the judges come in. Man, when there's judges, it gets me. I just don't like judge sports. It's not something that I really enjoy. I've always been a huge fan of cross country skiing. I did it as a kid.
Cross-country skiing.
I love it, man.
To watch it?
Yeah, I watched it and I enjoyed it. You get into the biathlon, and I mean, like, I don't know, I've never shot a gun, but it's such a weird and awkward sport. I'm like, then, I'll sit down and it's on. I'm like, I'm in. And then every time it's ever been on, I just keep watching that. And like the ski jump is crazy, just how high those guys go. I'm like, what are you doing? And I know I'm listing off a bunch, but I was a snowboarder too. So when I see like, you know, I see the half pipe is okay, but I like when they do like the rails and the you know, the kind of the course there, whatever it's called, the slalom. I like that. So those are the ones that always draw me in. But the Winter Olympics, it's almost anything I can watch. But to me, cross country skiing's always got me. It's something. Same thing with the summer. I'm a guy that watches long distance running at the Summer Olympics. I enjoy the sport. I like the mentality of it. I like seeing how the strategy works for them. So for me, I know it's weird, but I like cross country skiing.
That's all right. Everyone has their own things that they enjoy. I have to say, Sean, I like the topic because I enjoy the Winter Olympics so much more than I enjoy the Summer Olympics. And I'm with you. My pick is probably snowboarding. Look, I grew up listening to punk rock music and watching all those skate, surf, and snowboard videos. So it's just kind of in me
Oh,
to
I played that
watch
game.
when it's on.
Did you play that? I think it was on N64, 180 snowboarding. Oh,
1080.
1080. Yeah, that's
1080.
right. 1080. Oh, yeah, 1080 snowboarding. That game was phenomenal.
And it's funny. 1080 was a big deal at the time. Now all of them are able to pull off a 1080 at the Olympics, no problem. But back then it was like, oh my God, this has never been done before. And of course, snowboarding was a newer sport. That I love that game, Sean. And maybe that's why as well that I enjoy snowboarding. And then I'll go off the board and I'll say, don't laugh at me. I have a soft spot for figure skating. I know that
Judge sport.
I know you said judge sports, and look, I also know the history of it, especially in this country, and the corruption that we've seen in the figure skating judging. But just watch, especially the pairs, the solo stuff. I could take it or leave it, but the pair stuff, some of the things they're able to do, I am just shocked and awe, flabbergasted. Like, just watch with my jaw dropped, thinking, how do they throw each other in the air so high and pull these moves and land perfectly on the ice? It's just, and I love music too, so it's just, to me, beautiful performance, and I enjoy figure skating.
Yeah, I think it's just because you see someone skate well, and it's something that you always wish you could do.
No doubt about that. I'm so choppy.
Yeah, no, that's all right. But judge sports just get me, and I know that there's this whole corruption now, right? There's like 6 Russian skaters that are under investigation. There's something legal. Canada might win a medal now. Russia. They're like, we could get away with it in figure skating.
Russia in the women's hockey didn't want to show their COVID results, and Team Canada had to wear the N95 mask during their game after it was delayed. And then after not wanting to show the results, 6 players tested positive on Russia the next day. This ROC, the Russian Olympic Committee, that already has been stripped of their name in the Olympics, has been a disaster. And I think, you know what, they're going to have to look at maybe removing Russia for a couple of Olympics to really show discipline, or show that they want to discipline the Russians for not abiding by rules time in and time and time again.
So and if you have a favorite Olympic sport that's not hockey, comment below or tweet us directly if you want at Mitch Y. Gallo, Sean R. Campbell. Check us out on Post Game Pints on Facebook and everywhere in this world of social media. We are there. Are we ready for one of our favorite segments, Mitch Gallo?
Yes, let's go.
Oh, I like this. Good old school. And we have to bring in Dave at 32, Mr. 32. How you doing, Dave?
Hello, guys. I'm doing great.
Nice.
Great to see you guys.
All right. That means it's time for editor headlines. Oh, nice. See? Am I wearing? I'm just seeing. Am I wearing mine? No. I'm wearing my one Angry Monkey. Shout out to Justin at Angry Monkey, and my Cesaro shirt underneath. So
Campbell,
I'm gonna have to.
don't you love how Dave has a golden microphone? I feel like this is like you brought up 1080. 1080 was on
Yeah.
Nintendo 64. The James Bond game was also on Nintendo 64,
Yes.
and it was all
GoldenEye.
about finding that golden gun.
Yeah.
Right, and in the 4-player multiplayer,
Damn
you wanted
right.
to find that golden gun. Dave's got the golden mic.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got the golden answers to
I'm the
our
judge.
editor headlines. The stories are out there. We don't write the stories. We just write the headlines. And Mitch, you get to start us off.
All right, I'll start us off. And Sean, I have to say I have a theme that's all Super Bowl for me. Super Bowl
Okay,
is
good, because I have no
Sunday,
Super Bowl.
so I have only Super Bowl headlines today. So
All
my
right.
first one goes to the guy that I might put $1 or two at Bet Online to win Super Bowl MVP, and that would be Rams receiver Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, very good name. Very good name for editor headlines.
Don't steal my thunder. So if he wins a Super Bowl MVP, Sean, my headline will read 2 awards, 1 cup.
I like it.
Certain generation of internet goers definitely understand that one.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to start with the Montreal Canadiens and their return to action, thinking that a week off, things would change from being in the basement, and then they played the New Jersey Devils, and nothing changed. So my headline reads, "Hellish season continues with loss to Devils."
I like it.
I don't know. I didn't know if it was going to make it.
A little long there, Sean, by your standards. I
That's
know
true.
you
The
don't
other
like
ones are
the
short.
long ones. Ayo.
Yeah.
All right. My second headline, Sean, has to do with if the Cincinnati Bengals were to win the Super Bowl. And I think if they are going to win the Super Bowl, they're going to need Mixon to be key because we know how good that defense of the LA Rams is. So my headline reads, Bengals will be mixing things up.
That was a borderline one, but I liked it
Wow,
enough.
Dave, generous.
I liked it enough.
Generous, Dave. Very generous. That was that wouldn't have passed mine. All right. Tuukka Rask might be done, right? And I know that
Sounds like it, yep.
Coach Cassidy was asked about Tuukka Rask, and he's like, "Well, no comment." So, they were trying to get to the end of the story of what's happening with Tuukka Rask, who came back with the Bruins and not coming back with the Bruins. So my headline reads, "Don't Rask, don't tell."
I like that one. It's the best one so far, I think.
Best one so far. Oh, let's see if I could top it. My
Let's go.
third headline, guys, the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL, no doubt about it, right? Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. So what a way to cap off a rookie season with a Super Bowl, right? If Cincinnati were to win this big game. So my headline reads, rookie chasing Super Bowl.
It's too similar to the last one.
Going all Super Bowl, eh? All right.
All Super Bowl.
What are we doing? We're doing 3 or 5.
I have 5.
Okay, because I have 3.
You have 3?
Maybe I'll win because you only have 2 right. I'm 2 for 2. All right. My third one is Brad Marchand, of course, mixing it up with Tristan Jarry the other day. So, of course, it's discipline. I'll take that as a point. I have 3 points now. So he's going to see the Department of Player Safety. He gave him a little shot out of nowhere and then sticked him in the face. So my headline reads, "Bad, Marchand. Bad."
Yes, I like that one too.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right, so that's
All
4
right,
points
so,
I have. You only have 2.
A little bit of a comeback here needed by me. Guys, so let's take a quick poll here. And
Okay.
be honest. Don't just try to play devil's advocate, okay? Dave, I know you like to do that sometimes, but be honest. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Sean?
Rams.
Dave?
Rams.
I think the Rams too. So my next headline reads Cincinnati on borrowed time.
I'll award it.
See,
I like
I had another one for the Super Bowl.
By the way, guys,
And-
thanks for nobody saying Bengals and messing up my setup for that headline.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We didn't want to, if the Bengals screw it up, it would be, Cincinnati bungled it. No, that's fine.
Nah.
As you don't need to give me that one, but because the Rams are going to win, that wasn't it. Because there's a lot of famous newspapers out.
Oh, we got a little freeze frame here, Dave.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Sir,
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
it's LA's time.
Oh, I see. We missed that because you were frozen. So because you were frozen,
Oh, gosh.
we didn't really hear it.
All right, that was my last one. Go ahead, finish it up.
Campbell got screwed by technology there.
It was bad anyways.
All right, I have one more Cincinnati Bengals headline to get through here is my fifth and final one. Campbell likes when I include music. I think Boyd is also going to be big in the game plan for the Bengals this weekend. So my headline reads, Boyd to be wild. Dave doesn't like music.
I don't
by the way,
understand
at all.
music, so I don't know.
Did it die?
So bad I got knocked off the show. No. I think it's good because I'm on the road. This is Campbell on the road. Normally I have a little bit better internet connection, so I apologize to our listeners and our viewers, but it should be good for the final segment here for our pop quiz. I did hear Boyd to be wild. I like that, by the way. I did.
You like that Dave didn't because he doesn't get music. Damn it!
Oh, I got it. I gave you a thumbs up on that one.
And Campbell's a harsher judge usually. All right, thank you, Campbell,
Yeah.
and thank you to everybody who was able to bear through my vocals on the "Born to Be Wild" for Boyd to be wild. All right, Campbell, it's time for the pop quiz. Of course, so we can phone Dave for some help if we need.
Yes.
I will ask you the question first, if that's okay. Let's get right to it.
Sure.
This week,
No problem.
yes, this week, Alex Pietrangelo of the Vegas Golden Knights picked up his 500th point in the NHL. Only 4 active defensemen got to 500 points in fewer games than Pietrangelo's 844. So I would like to know the 4 defensemen to get to 500 points quicker. Straightforward enough?
Quicker.
Yes. So he did it in 844.
Yes.
4 active defensemen did it quicker.
Brent Burns.
Brent Burns not on the list.
Duncan Keith.
Duncan Keith not on the list.
Chera?
Nope.
I don't think so. No, that was just Carlson.
Which one?
Eric.
Well, they're both on the list, so I'll give you 2 for 1 there.
Well, then when you said which one, I was going to go John, because then when you said which one, I realized John Carlson's probably on the list. So
Yeah,
then
so,
Eric and John.
Eric
I was going to say
Carlson-
John right after.
Eric Carlson actually the quickest at 613.
Okay.
Think about that, man. 613 games as a defenseman to get to 500 points. John Carlson needed 783.
Okay.
So now you're missing
Victor
2.
Hedman.
Hedman needed
Hedman?
790.
Yeah. Hedman was always on my list. I was just going to get there. So I need one more active defenseman who got to 500 points quicker than Alex Pietrangelo. Drew Doughty.
It's a good guess, but incorrect.
No. Okay. 500 is still a lot, so I need someone that's gotten a lot of points.
It's a good player, Campbell.
Pardon?
It's a good player. I'll give you two
Okay.
clues here. Okay?
Okay.
2 clues. You like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And watch out here, because we're not necessarily talking about age. We're talking about games played. This player got hurt quite a bit.
So games played, hurt, point producer. Aaron Ekblad.
Nope.
No. Because I do like him.
No, you like this player more than you like Ekblad.
Okay. So I'm zoning out on somebody that I'm not thinking of, right?
Maybe you should phone a friend.
Yeah, Dave, can I phone a friend on this one? I'm trying to think. Who do I like that's got injured? That's games played and points. Someone that I like, defenseman. Dave?
The someone who was injured a lot. Someone who was injured a lot. Help me out. I think I'm going to guess Chris Letang.
Oh, Chris Letang. Chris Letang.
Is
Sorry.
the correct answer. Chris Letang
okay. Once I
had
thought of it,
753 games.
I thought of it before he said anything. That wasn't phone a friend. That was me.
I'm not wrong that you like him a lot, right? You've always been a big supporter of Chris Letang.
All right, you ready for yours?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I did some math, and Nick Suzuki is leading the Canadiens in scoring. And prorated, he's on pace for 49 points this year. I want you to name, and I went all the way back to 1949. You don't need to name that guy. But since 1950, 6 Montreal Canadiens players have led the team in scoring with less than 50 points. 6 Montreal Canadiens players have led the team with less than 50 points since 1950. I'm letting you know they're all of your generation watching hockey. You don't have to think about someone in the 70s or 60s or 80s. Okay?
Yep.
So 6 Montreal Canadiens players have led the team in scoring with less than 50 points. Now, remember how I phrased that question too. Go ahead.
Yep. All right. Yannick Perreault?
Incorrect. He had 56.
He had 56. I thought that was the lowest. Yeah. How'd you word the question?
Less than 50 points.
Less than 50 points.
That led the team.
Okay.
He led the team in scoring with 56 points. But, yeah, someone led with less.
Okay, I see. There's a play here. There was a couple freaking shortened seasons. There's a shortened season because of COVID. So who led the Canadiens in scoring in 2020? So that would have been Thomas Tatar.
Yeah, they played 70 games that year. Yeah, but he had over 60 points.
He had over 60? Okay, so who led the Canadiens in scoring when they played 56 games? Plekanec?
Plekanec's lowest was 57 leading the team.
57. All right, so what did Koivu have in... Koivu?
Koivu in 2001 had 47 points. He was tied with someone. You need to get that guy too.
Zednik?
No.
2000.
There's one guy you really like. There's one guy that you've always liked that led the team in scoring one year. One guy led the team in scoring a couple times, but he did it twice. And you're missing 2 of the more recent guys, I guess.
Pacioretty?
Pacioretty did in 2013 with 39 points, that shortened season. So that is one. So you got 2 of them. Pacioretty and Koivu. Giunta is incorrect.
Who led the Canadiens in scoring during the strike season?
So the strike season, that's one.
Carbonell? Bellows?
No. No.
Dalfus?
No.
Muller?
He was he's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Been on a bunch of different teams.
A Hall of Famer on a bunch of different teams, played with the Canadians in
I'm pretty sure he's in the Hall of Fame.
You caught me saying Muller, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hall of Famer.
Played on
Savard?
No. Played on Boston, Philly.
Mark
where
Recchi.
else did he go? Yeah,
Mark
Mark
Recchi.
Recchi. He did twice. In 95, he had 43 points. In 99, he had 47 points. So you have Recchi, Koivu, and Pacioretty. You're missing someone that's on the team now, and you're missing the guy tied with Koivu, and you're missing a guy that you like.
Somebody on the team now. Oh, so who led the Canadians in scoring last year, the 56-game season? Toffoli.
Yes, you got it. All right. So then one guy that I know that you like, he led the team in scoring in 2000 with 49 points. And in 2001, someone tied with Koivu. He is probably one of the best alumni players the Canadians have ever had.
Alumni players. Now you're throwing me off.
Yeah,
Richer?
He's still good on. No, it's not Richer. I think smaller.
He's still Patrick Poulet?
Okay, but no, good.
Igor Ulanov?
Right country.
Right country. I'm going to call Dave.
Dave, okay, there's two answers left. One you should get because it's a player you like, and this is a guy that same country as Igor Ulanov, tied
Jan
in
Bulis.
2001. No, not Jan Bulis.
I'm gonna go. I thought Oleg Petrov had the record for lowest points for Habs.
Oh, Oleg Petrov, 47. You got it. He tied with Koivu in 2001. So there you go. So you're missing one player on this list, Gallo, and it's a player I know you like. He led the team in scoring in 2000 with 49 points.
And this is the one I liked. Valerie
You like
Bure.
this player. You're like one of the few people that like. No, I think it's more of a heritage thing for you.
Slovak player to play for the Canadians. Marcel Hossa?
I think he's Slovak, but I know you like him. He may not be Slovak, but I know you like him.
Marcel Hossa?
Maybe he's Slovak. No. Marcel Hossa never led the Canadian scoring.
Well, I'm thinking about Slovak players from that era.
Yeah.
Also, it's not a lot of points, Sean. 49.
No, but I know, but he was a good player that I know you liked him. You've always said you liked him. He was part of the big deal that everybody hates with the Canadians.
Oh.
There you go.
I
There's
know
your
who
clue.
it is. It's what's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. For some reason, I keep wanting to say Hanzus, but it's not Hanzus. It's something like that.
Dave?
I
Dave?
got it.
Another phone friend?
Martin Ruchinsky?
No, it's not Ruchinsky. Oh, it is?
It is
who was I
Ruchinsky.
thinking of then?
Kovalenko,
I don't know.
maybe?
You like
Was the other guy in
Ruchinsky,
the
don't
trade?
you?
Yeah, Ruchinsky's fine, but I thought you're who's the player they got for
Where's he
Recchi?
from, anyways? Yeah.
Zubrus is the guy they got for Recchi.
Zubrus is that's I said not Hanzus, Zubrus.
Ruchinsky is Czech Republic.
He's Czech.
He's from the Czech.
Yeah, but I know you still like him.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah. All right. There you go. That was a hard one, but yeah. Toffoli, by the way, is on pace for 52 points this year. He's
So
on.
he's not
He's
gonna be
lower
on this
points than
list.
Suzuki. Yeah. No, but
Not
he's
on pace.
like Suzuki's on pace for 49, but Toffoli is on pace for 52 because he's plays less games. Anyways.
Right. All right, I like that one.
Anyways.
That was tough.
Yeah, I like to challenge you. And I got Letang, by the way. Sorry for cutting out there. It was, I'm on the road, but nonetheless, we made it through this episode of Post Game Pints. What are they supposed to do, Gallo?
Yeah, that's the way to look at it. Sean, as always, click, listen, and subscribe. And I can't wait to talk to you from your actual home with some good Wi-Fi next week on Wednesday when we release the next Post Game Pints podcast. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And once again, click, listen, and smash that subscribe button.
Well, how's that for your entertainment value?
They've done their job very, very well.
Awesome!
No.